Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Up and Moving. My name is Steve. I'm providing the technical support today, and we're very excited to have Ashley, one of our team members from Michigan Tech University, be our guest leader today and help us lead the workout. We're just about ready to get started. Ashley, do you want to let us know a couple of things that we'll need today so we can give folks just a minute here to grab any equipment?
Yep. So today we'll need, for our warm up, we'll need a stick of some sort. So a regular stick, a mop, a broomstick, anything like that will work. And then we'll also need some light resistance. So I have some light dumbbells, but if you have cans of soup, water bottles, anything of that sort, that will work. And then if needed, a chair for support for some of these exercises that we'll be doing today.
All right, thanks, Ashley. And I would throw in a bottle of water and a smile and some enthusiasm. We're going to get started here. I just remind everybody that the goal of Up and Moving is to help keep adults physically active here in the Upper Peninsula. Ashley, you're joining us from West Virginia today. So folks in your community, Wisconsin, Minnesota, and I'm joining today from California. So we're getting up and moving across several time zones. Excited about the workout. If you do have any questions, you can enter those into the chat, and I'll help answer those. And we'll reserve a little time at the end for any questions and feedback as well. And also, we have one of our community members today joining us from Texas. So, Ashley, I think we've hit all the time zones. Yeah. So, Ashley, I'm going to go ahead and mute and turn it over to you. And we are ready for the workout. Looking forward to it.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Elmer. I'm just going to get started. So, yes, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. You likely haven't seen me before because I am a part-time student, but as Dr. Elmer said, I'm joining from Morgantown, West Virginia. So happy to be here. Hopefully you guys have some sunshine. I don't have any here, but that's okay. We're going to go ahead and get started with our warm-up. So first thing we're going to do are some arm circles. So go ahead and put those arms out to your side. We're going to go forward first. So you're going to start nice and small. And then just gradually get those arm circles, make those circles bigger. And then we're going to head and go backwards. So again, arms out wide, starting small, moving those arms backwards. And gradually making those circles bigger. All right, and next, if you have your stick, you want to go ahead and grab that. If you don't have a stick, you can do this without, no problem at all. So you'll just put those arms out wide in a Y, and you're just going to reach overhead and extend or open up those armpits. My arms are a little tight this morning. All right, now we're going to take that stick behind our back. And we're just going to, again, put those arms out a little bit wider. My stick's not very long, so it's at the end of my stick. And then you're just going to lift those arms up behind you. Again, stretching those shoulders. We're doing kind of a full body workout today. So we have a lot of shoulder stuff. So it's important to stretch those. And to make this one a little bit easier, you can put your arms out even wider if your stick is longer. All right, bringing that stick back to the front, arms out long, and we're just going to do some rotations. Warming up that upper body. All right, and now to warm up that lower body, what you're gonna do is you're gonna stand with your feet shoulder or hip width apart. And then you're gonna put your hands, still using that stick, about hip width apart as well. And we're gonna do some deadlifts. So you're just gonna reach down towards your toes. And then you're gonna slowly come back up. And you wanna make sure that you're squeezing your bottom at the top. We wanna make sure we're doing this one nice and slow. It's early in the morning, so not quite warmed up yet. We'll go ahead and do one more. All right, now we can take that stick and set it off to the side. We're done with that for now. We're gonna go ahead and do some marches. So you're gonna lift up one knee and put your opposite elbow to that knee. Just a couple more seconds of this. All right, next we're gonna do our hip openers. This is where if you need a chair, feel free to grab it. You're gonna lift your knee up, extend it off to the side, or rotate it out to the side, and then bring it down. Do the same thing with that other leg. We'll do one more on each side. And then next, I'm going to grab my chair. My balance isn't as good as it should be, but we're gonna do some leg swings. So using that chair or hands on your hips, we're just gonna swing our leg front to back. These don't need to be aggressive. Again, we're just warming up. And we'll go ahead and do the other side for the other leg. All right, and last thing for our warm up, we can go ahead, set that chair off to the side. We're gonna do jumping jacks. So you can do a regular jumping jack, or to modify, you can just tap your foot out and raise those arms. All right, so go ahead and get a drink of water if you need. I'm going to. Our heat is blasting down here. And we're going to move into our first group of exercises. So we're gonna do 3 exercises, each for about 30 seconds to 40 seconds. And then we're gonna go through that 3 times and then go into our second group. Again, each exercise is about 30 to 40 seconds. Rest, do it 3 times again, and then we'll go into our cool down. So while you all are resting, I'm going to go ahead and show the exercises that we're going to be doing. So first is a front raise. So if you have your weights or water bottles, cans of soup, whatever, if you have laundry detergent, that would work for this too. So you're going to hold your weights starting at your hips, and you're going to lift it right in front and lower. So you want to lift your arms to about 90 degrees and lower. To modify for this, you can do 1 arm at a time, or you can sit in your chair and do both arms, or sit in the chair and do 1 arm at a time. For the second exercise, we're going to do a body squat. So you want to make sure that your chest is up and open the whole time. You're going to lower and then stand back up. For some modifications, you can hold on to the chair while you're squatting, or what you can do is you can sit in the chair and then stand back up. But you want to make sure that you're keeping your chest up and open the whole time. And then last one that we're going to do is you're going to take 1 weight or 1 can of soup, whatever you have. And we're going to do a tricep kickback. So you want to pin that elbow to your side, have a slight forward lean, and you're just going to bring your arm back. So for this one, you can do 1 arm at a time, or to make it a little bit harder, you can do both arms at a time. I'll give a timing for 1 arm and then for both arms. So if we're ready, we can go ahead and start with that front raise. So grab those weights and then just waiting for the timer. And we can go. Lifting them nice and slow in front of you. If at any time you feel you need to take the modification, feel free to do it. We'll do 1 more. And you can set those weights off to the side. Next, we're going to move into our body squats. So again, use a chair if you need it. Sit in the chair if you need it. And go ahead and go. With this, you also want your feet about hip width apart. You don't want them super wide or super narrow. And we'll do 1 more. All right, and the last one that we're going to do is our tricep kickback. So for this, I'm going to do the modification of 1 arm at a time, but if you want to do both arms, just disregard my timing cues right here. So we're going to do 1 arm for 20 seconds and then switch over to the other arm. And we'll go. Going nice and slow right behind you. And if you're doing 1 arm, you can go ahead and switch to the other arm. If you're doing both arms, keep going. And we'll do 1 more. All right, nice work. We'll go ahead and rest for about a minute and then keep it going. Go ahead and take a sip of water if you need to as well. And then we have to do that, or we get to do that 2 more times. We'll start back up in about 15 seconds. If you need more rest time than that, absolutely take it, no worries. All right, go ahead and grab those weights and we're moving back to our front raise. And again, if you need to, you can modify one arm at a time or using your chair if needed. Just waiting for the timer and go. Bringing those weights out in front of you nice and slow. We'll do one more. And set those weights off to the side. Moving into our body squats again, if you need that chair for support, feel free to grab it. And we'll go ahead and start. We want to make sure we're keeping that chest up during these. Just a few more seconds. And stop. And then last exercise of this group is our tricep kickback. So again, grabbing those weights or resistance. Again, I'm going to do one arm at a time, but if you want to do both arms, feel free. Just ignore my time cues. And we'll start with one arm now. We'll do one more rep on this side and then switch to the other arm. If you're doing both arms, keep going. For another modification for this one, if you need, you can hang onto that chair and use that for support. And we'll do one more and rest. We have one more round of those 3 exercises, and then we'll move into our next group. We'll start in about 15 seconds. All right, if you want to grab those weights. Last round, starting again with front raise and begin. We have about 5 more seconds of these ones. And stop. Set those weights out of your way. And moving into our body weight squats. And we'll start in 3, 2, 1. If your legs are as sore as mine, again, feel free to take that modification. We want to make sure that we're doing this safely. So do it however you need to make sure that it's as safe as possible. We'll do 2 more squats. All right. And then ending with our tricep kickbacks. Once again, if you're going to do both arms, ignore my cues. If you're going to do one arm, or I guess both arms, you can begin now. We want to make sure we're bringing that weight straight back behind us. If you're doing one arm, we're going to switch to the other now. Go ahead and keep going, just making my sure my computer doesn't go to sleep. And one more. All right, good job. We can go ahead and set those weights off to the side for now, but we will need those for our next group of exercises. So while everyone is resting, I'm going to talk through those again. So the first one we're going to do is a lateral raise. So grabbing your resistance, and we're just going to raise our arms straight out to the side. We have a few modifications for this. If needed, you can go ahead and sit in the chair and do it. And then also if needed, you can do one arm at a time and just alternate arms. You can also obviously do that while standing. The second one that we're going to do is called half moons. So you may need a chair on this. I always do. What you're going to do is you're going to stand on one leg, hand on the chair, and you're going to raise your leg in front, bring it around the side, back behind you, and then bring it back around and drop. For this one, you don't have to go very high. And then for the other side, it's going to be the same thing. Bring in front, around the side, and back in front. And then for our last one, once again, grabbing our resistance, we're going to do a bicep curl to an overhead press. So you're going to bicep curl and press right above, and then lower back in that bicep curl. For modification for this one, you can do one arm at a time. And then also you can have a seat and do the exercise that way. And if we're ready, then we can go ahead and start with that first exercise, the lateral raise. We'll start in 3, 2, 1. Again, lifting those weights out to the side, arms in a T, and slowly lowering. For this exercise, we want to make sure that our arms are going straight out. We don't want our arms in front. We want to be a perfect little T. We have about 5 more seconds. And stop. Go ahead and set those weights off to the side. Grab your chair if you need to. We're going to do 20 seconds on each leg for this half moon. And we'll start in, 3, 2, 1. Lifting that leg in front, bringing it out to the side and behind, and then bringing it back to the front. We'll do one more on this side. All right, and switch that chair over to the other side, or you can turn around, whatever you want to do. And we'll begin now. Again, for this one, you don't need to raise your leg to Olympic gymnast level heights. You can just raise it as comfortably as you can. And we'll do one more on this side. All right, and you can move that chair out of the way if you don't need it for our bicep curl to overhead press. And we'll begin now. So again, we want to raise that bicep curl and press overhead. And if your shoulders are feeling it, go ahead and move to one arm at a time. We'll do 2 more, or if you're doing one arm, 1 more on each arm. All right, good job. We can set those weights off to the side. Grab a drink of water if you need to. And then we'll move into our second round. Or we'll rest before moving into our second round. We'll go ahead and start in 15 seconds. Again, if you need more rest, absolutely take it. Take what you need. But if you're ready, we can go ahead and grab those weights. And again, our first exercise is our lateral raise. So we'll start in 3, 2, 1, lifting straight out to the side and lowering back down. Modification on this is doing one arm at a time. Just a few more seconds. And stop. Setting those weights off to the side so we don't kick them. Grabbing that chair for our half moons. And we'll go ahead and start with one leg in 3, 2, 1, lifting in front, bringing it behind, and then bringing it back to the front. On this, we want to make sure that our standing leg is not locked out. We want a nice slight bend in the knee for this one. We'll do one more on this side. Good. And then switching that chair over to the other side for the other leg, making sure that knee has a nice bend and lifting to the front, behind, and back to the front. One more on this side. Good. Go ahead and grab those weights for our last exercise of this round. Bicep curl to overhead press. We'll start in 3, 2, 1. For this one, don't forget you can sit on the chair if needed. And we'll do one more. Good. All right, we can set those off to the side. We'll take about a minute rest before our last round. And then we have our cool down, and then we're done. Don't forget to grab water. It's very cold here outside, but it's very warm in my house. So I'm sweating. I don't know about the rest of you. All right, we'll get started again for our last round in 15 seconds. As always, take more rest if you need. And we'll go ahead and grab those weights, starting with our lateral raise. We'll start in 3, 2, 1. Lifting those weights out to the side into a T and lowering back down to our sides. We'll do 2 more of these. All right, we can set those off to the side, moving into our half moons. Getting that chair into position, bending our standing leg, and we can start in 3, 2, 1. One more on this leg. Good, and switch that chair over to the other side or turn around. And we'll start in 3, 2, 1. And last one on this side. Good. Moving that chair out of the way if you don't need it for our last set of bicep curl to overhead press. And we'll go ahead in 3, 2, 1. For the last time modification, you can do one arm at a time. You can do this while seated. Take whatever modification you need. We'll do 2 more of these. Last one. All right, and we can set those weights off to the side. And we're done with the weight portion. So we can move into our cool down. We'll start with some a nice slow march to bring that heart rate down. And then we'll move into some stretches. Just a few more seconds in this march. All right, and we can go ahead and we'll stretch our arms. We did a lot of arm stuff, so we'll just bring one arm across the body. Roll that wrist around if needed. And go ahead and switch over to the other arm. Again, rolling that wrist, moving those fingers. And then we'll move into a quadricep stretch. So if you need some support on this, please use it. Making sure that standing leg is not locked out. Bringing that foot up behind you. Bringing your foot to your bottom. And switching over to the other leg. Bringing that foot up. All right, and last stretch, if you have a chair, you can go ahead and sit in your chair, or you can do this on the ground. We're gonna do a figure 4 stretch. So bringing that leg across, putting your ankle on your opposite thigh, and you're gonna push down on that knee very gently. You just wanna make sure that you're feeling a stretch in your bottom and your hip. And to make this one a little bit harder, you wanna stand up tall, and then reach forward. Ooh, I can't do that, but maybe you can. And that'll give you a deeper stretch. Unpretzeling your legs, and we can move over to the other side, crossing that leg over. Sitting up tall. And again, if you want a deeper stretch on this one, lean forward. This is a good enough stretch for me. So I'm just gonna hang out here. And you can go ahead and unpretzel your legs. And that's all I have for you all today. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you have a great rest of your Saturday, rest of your weekend, and we'll see you next time.